Coming up on FYI, Scarlett heads inside the Houses of Parliament where politicians, lords and baronesses debate and vote on big decisions and new laws.
And did you know that it's not just adults who speak in there, it's kids like us too?
And new laws to give us more protection from harmful content online are being debated by politicians right now. But do they go far enough? This is FYI, the weekly news show where we bring you all the latest info on the big stories.
And we investigate possible fake news. Check out this picture that's been doing the rounds online. Apparently, this is a new roller coaster that jumps the track.
This means the roller coaster will fly through the air during part of the ride, with no track underneath it.
But do you think this is fun, fair fact or fake news? We'll reveal all later.
Now, we're used to adults making the decisions in the House of Parliament. This is where laws and government policies are debated and voted on.
But did you know there's an actual youth parliament and anyone from the ages of 11 to 18 can get involved with it?
And we went to see some young people from the British Overseas Territories speaking for their first time in Parliament. Now, they come from 14 different places across the world that are actually part of Britain. Places like the Cayman Islands, Gibraltar, Bermuda, and Scarlett's been finding out more.
Order, order. We now come to the Leader of the Opposition, Keir Starmer.
The Houses of Parliament are made up of two houses. The House of Commons, where politicians from all political parties debate and vote on things the government wants to do.
The government will update the House.
And the House of Lords, where lords and baronesses vote on what the politicians want to do and can send back requests for changes. But what is amazing is we have found out that there is also a youth parliament, so we get a say too. Right in there is the House of Commons, where the young people are going to be speaking. And top of the agenda is climate change and young people's mental health.
We have the worst mental health rates in the entire UK.
Is it too much to let the young, the working, the elderly suffer?
My name is Charity and I'm here today to represent the British Virgin Islands.
It is territories like the British Virgin Islands, whose carbon footprint is almost non-existent, who are the ones that will now suffer the most from the environmental challenges the world now faces. In fact, for 6 months of the year, the threat of an active hurricane season is always looming over our shores.
My name is Yaya. I'm from the Falkland Islands.
The Falklands are experiencing a concerning trend towards drying land and increased water scarcity, which has significant risks and impacts associated for our society, environment and economy.
We may not be able to vote, we may not be able to stand as MPs, but there are enough of us and we all have a voice.
Is climate change not one of the most, if not single-handedly the most important issue facing the youth of today?
I think it's very important that the youth have a say in the activities that take place in Parliament, especially decisions that are made towards our future.
Even though the future is uncertain, I am still hopeful. For even though we are small, we are mighty. Thank you.
What strikes me is that there could easily be a future Prime Minister in that room.
So, something really important is being debated by politicians in Parliament right now. It's a complicated set of new laws which have one simple aim: to keep us all safe online.
While going online gives us access to loads of info and we can connect with each other, there's also a lot of misinformation and harmful content.
So the government created a new set of laws known as the Online Safety Bill, a set of ideas that basically police the internet. Politicians are about to vote on whether the bill should become law.
One of the ideas in the Online Safety Bill was to force big tech companies like YouTube or Facebook to remove harmful content, such as videos promoting eating disorders or racism. We've got hold of the government minister overseeing the Online Safety Bill, Culture Secretary Michelle Donnellan. Hi Michelle, so what's the latest with this bill and will harmful content still have to be removed?
If a social media platform allow illegal images or illegal stuff to reach children or adults, then they have to remove it. And if they allow harmful content to reach children or young people under the age of 18, if they don't remove it, they will face fines.
But we read that politicians in the Labour Party and children charities say that this will not protect children. The content will still be there.
Yeah, it definitely does rely on the online company to remove it. They will have a legal duty to do so because of this bill. But I can assure you here today on FYI that any illegal content will not be shown for children or adults, and that any harmful content will not be shown to children or young people. If social media companies do that, it will be breaking the bill.
But aren't you putting too much trust in these big tech companies? It's a big risk, isn't it?
We're putting all the onus on those social media platforms to do everything themselves. They are the ones that are going to have to make sure you don't see illegal content. What I can assure you today, Braden, is that this bill is now stronger in its protections for young people and children. So I think we're going to make history here, and we're going to protect lots of children and young people and potentially save lives as well.
Thanks for talking to FYI, Michelle. And for more info on how to stay safe online, head to our webpage and check out our I Don't Get It explainer at first.news/FYI. Now, can you imagine a jungle or a forest growing in the middle of your city? I'm talking on the streets, in airports, on buildings, everywhere, all to help tackle climate change.
Well, neither could we. So here's Sadie, who lives in Singapore, with more on their unique way on how to cool down the planet.
Welcome to one of the smallest countries in the world. This is my home, and even though I'm just an ordinary kid, I'm kind of protective about it. The way I see it, there's nowhere else like this on Earth. Its nickname is the city in a garden, and it's easy to see why. But all this greenery isn't just to look pretty, it's also doing a really important job. Singapore is one of the hottest places on the planet. So for many years now, the city authorities have been looking for innovative ways to cool things down. And they've discovered something quite incredible that the rest of the world can learn from as our planet heats up. It's not rocket science. Singapore's secret is actually quite simple. Okay, are you ready? Here we go. Yep, simply by planting trees, this city has lowered the air temperature by up to 2 degrees Celsius. The trees provide shade and release cooling water vapor into the air from their leaves. In Singapore, we try to live in harmony with the natural world. This is a major tourist attraction called Gardens by the Bay, where you can take a walk above a canopy of trees, even though some of them are man-made. You'll also find vegetation on lots of Singapore's buildings, including this eco-friendly hotel. And at the airport, where they've got their own rainforest waterfall. I love it here. It's like a high-tech tropical paradise. But even though Singapore has made a good start, with more than half of our land now covered with trees, we know we've got to do more to tackle climate change. So our government has drawn up what it calls the Green Plan. So what will the Green Plan mean for us?
Well, the Green Plan is actually trying to turn Singapore into a city in nature. And that means putting in so many parks and green spaces such that nobody living in Singapore is more than 10 minutes walk away from a place like this. If you look at the bird's eye view of Singapore, you will see a city, very busy, full of people, but at the same time, it's all green. It looks like a jungle, and that's what we aim to do.
And what are the advantages of creating more green spaces?
The advantages are plentiful. Greenery and nature, plants, they capture carbon. It cools the planet. And the green spaces also provide living spaces for lots of interesting animals. So these are very important things.
But what about all the buildings in Singapore? There's a lot of concrete, right?
There is a lot of concrete, but what Singapore does very well and is trying to improve on is putting plants on buildings. So even though you are in the middle of the city, many of these buildings, houses and hotels have vertical greenery. It's not easy to do, but we have tried our very best, and I think we have done very well in doing so.
That all sounds really sensible, but there is a problem. Singapore still uses a lot of air conditioning units. Can you see them up there? They're pretty ugly, to be honest. And they use up loads of energy. The way they work is by pumping hot air out of buildings that people work and live in. It's not very eco-friendly. So here's another idea that Singapore's trying out. The city's engineers say that down there is one of the largest systems of its kind in the whole world. An underground network of pipes sending chilled water through an entire district. The pipes travel through all buildings, helping to cool down the air inside. It will cut down the amount of energy we use by more than 40%, as well as reducing carbon emissions. You can probably tell I'm really quite proud of my country and everything we're doing to tackle climate change. And at night, the man-made super trees are lit up in a spectacular display, powered by solar energy. It's like a beacon of hope for the future of our planet, right? That's pretty cool.
Thanks, Sadie. And for more amazing climate change beating ideas, check out the Sky Kids documentary, COP27 6 Ways to Save Our Planet. Available right now on Sky Kids On Demand and via our webpage at first.news/FYI. So would you have been brave enough to have a ride on this new flying roller coaster?
Well, luckily enough, you don't have to be, because this is actually fake news. It's just a digitally altered image. And for more on how to spot fake news and videos like this, head to our webpage and check out our I Don't Get It explainer.
What would it be like to perform at the Royal Albert Hall in front of thousands of people?
I don't know, I think it would be kind of nerve-wracking, but also really exciting.
Well, we got an exclusive backstage pass to this year's Youth Proms and met some of the pupils taking the stage by storm.
Hi, I'm Charlotte.
And I'm Ivie.
Hi, I'm Isabelle. And we are Girls Rap Collective, and later today, we'll be performing in there.
This is the Royal Albert Hall, the place where the proms happens. This is usually a series of concerts performed by adults.
But today it's our turn to shine.
Here we go, standing up everybody. We're just about to do the sound check and I can't wait.
Back in January, when we first discovered each other's talents and how we all actually enjoy music, and we kind of just vibe to see
put on a beat and then
just put on a beat, vibing, and then we came up with one genre that we like, and that turned out to be Afro, R&B, drill.
We started writing our own songs. We started showing them to the school, and everyone was a bit judgmental, especially the boys. And so it just shows that you shouldn't judge someone without knowing what they can do.
So us being on stage and us being black shows that we have that opportunity and we have that passion and that drive.
Especially how we're a group of females as well.
Being able to write about being black and the struggles of it.
It just feels amazing. We're just happy that we got given this opportunity to perform in front of 5,000 people. That's just amazing.
And it's not just us. 3,000 other young people are performing too. Check this out.
It is quite nerve-wracking because obviously it's like a very famous place, and it's an amazing place for a musician to go and play.
Playing with my friends on a stage, a piece that we've worked on for months and months, is going to be so rewarding.
To do something like this so early into being in the choir is just a really incredible experience. To do something like performing here at the Royal Albert Hall, where so many other famous people have performed. Yeah.
It's not long now until we go on stage and absolutely smash it.
Better know that's done, I ain't paying about the game ain't fun. I didn't come to hear it, though your story's gonna end the Rick and Morty show.
And finally, we've got some good news about FYI. We've won a BAFTA award for our special edition of the programme to help us all understand about the Ukraine invasion.
BAFTA stands for the British Academy of Film and Television Arts, an organisation that supports talent and awards programme makers in the UK. So this really meant a lot to all of us.
And you can still see our special programmes about the war on Ukraine on our website at first.news/FYI. Now, we decided to dedicate this award to the millions of child refugees fleeing war and conflict around the world.
That's it for today.
See you next time.